So, welcome back to the channel, guys. In the last video, we had just completed Soldier's Peak, where we followed this fellow called Levy up to castle that, apparently a fort that used to belong to the wardens, because his great-grandmother was apparently a warden commander at the time, Sophia Dryden. So we came up here, beat up a whole bunch of dead things and, mainly dead things and demons, quite frankly. Found out that Sophia Dryden, actually got their mage Avernus to summon a bunch of demons to help them because they were rebelling against, what was his name? I don't know, some despot at the time, some tyrant. We left Avernus alive because we found him in the top of his tower. He'd been using blood magic to, watching the birds there. He'd been using blood magic to lengthen his life. But he was getting to the end of it, So we left him alive, but we told him, look, if you continue your research, you have to do it humanely, So we left that. We spoke to Levy, said, look, you don't have to move on just yet, Here's Levy here. And he brought his family in, who are traders and stuff. So we can buy stuff from him. We unlocked this little storage chest, which is very handy. And we got a blacksmith over here who makes some pretty nice stuff. When wandering the map, we can actually bump into an Easter egg of Superman. Meteor falls to Earth and whatnot. But we can take that material that we find in that crater and pass it over to this guy, and he can make us some weapons, etc. But for now, we're going to go on to the next DLC, which is Honnleath, which is all the way down the bottom here. So we picked up a control rod from Soldier's Pass. The fellow was like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's more trouble than it's worth. Here you go. Didn't even have to pay for it. So, apparently the golem for it is up here in Honnleath. So off we trot. We might even bump into Superman along the way. Do 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 do. This fellow we bump into once or twice.
You have coin, stranger? With Orzammar closed off, old Tegrin can give you a discount. Fine weapon and arms, dwarven made.
Let's see this discount of yours. See what we can get off him, shall we? No. Yeah. So these are what we're going to be... These crystals is what we use for the golem when we find her. Take a greater one. Oh, we're going to take two of those greater ones. That greater one. So what's this one for? This one's a skill. That's a talent or spell. And that's a talent or spell. Plans. Oh, we give those shoes to Leliana. She likes shoes. No, I think Sten likes... Where is it? I think he likes the Rebel Queen, maybe.
I am impressed. My thanks.
Yes. Who likes the Silver Sword of Mercy? Is that Alistair?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Really?
So there are certain gifts that get that
Wow.
extra approval from these guys. So let's see if we've got.
What do you need?
Voice options.
Ask away.
Yeah, never mind then. So once you get them to a certain point of approval, it opens up new, obviously, options to speak with them and stuff. So, there we go. We're all the way down here in Honnleath. Got some people hung, so this is always a good sign,
Think
isn't
again.
it? Hello, people.
It shall be done.
Boom. Listen, our sword is awesome. These guys didn't even get us looking. Come on in.
Dark spawn. Very well.
God, you managed to put so much hatred into that. I am impressed.
It is begun. As you say.
Oh, one sec. Just realised that is really loud. Just turn that down a little bit.
I shall do it.
So apparently it comes under dialogue because it's then going.
As you say. Very well.
Maker!
Very well. I shall do it.
Alright, let's start at the top of the hill.
It shall be done.
Olaf.
No, I cannot.
I don't even know who Olaf is, but he's got a chest apparently. So we've got to find a key for that chest, since we can't lockpick it. Oh, left a sparkly back here. Can't be doing that. Gotta get the sparklies! Right, so we checked around here. So there's a barrel there. Olaf's chest, Genlock. Genlock. Gotta keep reminding myself, it's like when you say gentleman. It's Genlock. Right, up we go. Up a hill! To fetch a pail of water. We all fell down and broke the crown.
It is begun. I shall do it. It shall be done.
Oh no!
I shall do it.
I have silenced it.
It shall be done.
No quarter.
It is begun. It shall be done.
Well, apparently somebody yelled at me. That's why I got that red on
Watch
my
out.
As you say.
far right there.
It is begun.
You will learn to fear me.
Morrigan's making friends over there, evidently. Oh, I think that was the key for Olaf's chest. So let's go open his chest. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.
Finished.
There we go. We got a fancy doodle knife. It's a cheese knife. Is that any better? It is. Oh, but that's one armor penetration. Ah. The one I've got here is plus damage and armor penetration. Yep. No, I'm saving that for, I'll save that one for Leliana. Let's go back round up to the top. The basket is almost empty. Most of the birdseed seems to have been scattered about to attract the birds.
What
So,
we're looking at
here's
is a
the golem.
golem. It would appear it is defunct, though there may be a way to revive it yet.
Okay. Dulefgar. Okay, so that's broke. Anything over here? Yep, some stuff a bit further up here.
am done.
There you go, Wilhelm. So whoever Wilhelm is, we're in his basement.
Dark spawn. Very well.
So I'm not talking much, guys.
Awful thing.
Very well.
Now you fall.
Not much to say whilst attacking someone.
The task is finished.
So, oh, a decades-old letter on the other side. Interesting. Oh, missed one. And this one. So let's toddle on through here. And then
More darkspawn.
dark spawn.
As you say, very well. It shall be. As you say, I shall do it. Very
Who's
well.
leveled up? Oh,
Let
no.
us have this.
It is begun.
Look, can we just pick up the stupid glowing crystal? Why has Wilhelm got all this junk down in his basement? I call sus. Like, why would Wilhelm have that in his basement? This is a village. That's totally suspicious. No, I don't want to play with that yet. Decades-old letter. Magical barrier.
By the Maker, we're saved!
You weren't sent by the ban, were you? To save us?
I wasn't sent by anyone. No.
The statue outside? Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for shale.
Yeah, put the barrier down first, bud.
That damnable golem
Crazy,
brought
looks
us
like we can
nothing
walk
but
through.
trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father, and good riddance.
God, you're so angry.
My father's name was Wilhelm, mage to the Isles of Redcliffe and a hero in the war against Orlais. And what did he get? One day, my mother
Apparently a
found him
dungeon in his
outside the
basement.
tower, with so many broken bones she could barely recognize him, and shale standing over him just like it is now. My father deserved better than that. But if you really want to wake shale up, well, it's yours now.
Except the rod doesn't work.
My mother might have passed along the wrong command phrase when she sold the rod. She said she never wanted to see shale active again. Look, I'll tell you the command phrase, but I'll need your help first. I know you already
Listen.
saved my life, and I'm grateful, but my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too
Then why
far
didn't
in
you go
before I
get
could
her?
stop her. I don't know how she made it past my father's defenses. One of the men tried to go after her. He was killed, but you could find her, couldn't you?
Oh, so you want me to die as well?
And
Yeah.
then what will happen to Amalia? No. I won't tell you. I don't care what you do.
See, I know
If you want
intimidate
that
is based
bloody
on
golem,
strength,
then
and we're not
find
that
my
strong.
little girl.
Brave man, fine.
You will? Thank the Maker! My father's
Oh, you're
laboratory
happy
is just
hunky-dory
past
now,
the
aren't
next
you?
area, I think. She has to be there.
So she might already be dead then. You just don't know. Sorry, he winds me the buck. He winds the hell out of me. Right, let's see. Let's use that. Let's get that. Because I want to get out. I want to get that multiple. The virulent walking bomb means that when they blow up, they can infect others around them. Alright then, let's go. Let's go find this kid. Oh wait.
I will help however I
want
can.
that on effect. That in effect. Alright, we'll use that one for now.
Yes.
That one. Awesome job. Alright. Oh, am I stuck on a pillar apparently? Oh, so this must be the fellow who ran after her.
As you say,
How do you know that he died then? If he's all, if what's his face is all the way at the top
I shall
there?
do it. Very well.
Like, wouldn't he have simply just assumed that he didn't come back?
Yes!
Why would he assume he's dead?
Finished.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to what I pick up. Because at the end of the day, I sit down and sort it all out in one sitting, you know? Rather than deal with it as we go. Alright, here is a barrier.
What do you mean you've never climbed a tree? Don't cats like to be in trees?
Right, all I can see are doors and this.
Oh, look.
Okay.
Someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
We? Who is
Father?
he?
Oh, you can tell him I'm fine. Maybe he'll come and stay with us, too. Anyway, you should go if you're not going to play. Kitty finds you distracting.
Sure, I see.
I
You can
can't
bring
go.
the cat.
Kitty says she can't come, and I'm not leaving her. She'd be lonely.
You are so kind,
sure she'll
Amalia.
manage.
I would miss you dearly if you left.
No, leave me alone. Kitty!
Nothing you say will convince Amalia to go with you. She loves only me now. I am her friend, while you are just a stranger.
Stranger will find you very interesting.
Did you hear that, Amalia? I have another admirer.
That's because you're wonderful, Kitty.
I have been bound to this chamber for decades, cut off from all contact. It has been maddening. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl. Let us return to her father and leave this place forever. That's such a crude way of
possess her?
putting it. I do not wish to harm Amalia. I merely want to see your world through her eyes. Is that so wrong? Thank you. You are very gracious. The mage's wards hold me within this chamber, and only a mortal may approach them. There
Nice
is
to
a
see that
trick to
our light
defiling the
passed this
wards,
time.
but I do not know it. Perhaps you will succeed where the girl failed.
Oh, this is so
This is very
exciting.
straightforward.
Kitty is going to be free. I've always wanted a cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty.
Right, so we need to get those fires all the way over here. Right, okay, so we're going to shift that over there for a sec. Oh, wrong way, actually.
I like it when Kitty sings to me.
That one. No, actually. That way. That one. That one. I don't even know if I'm putting it the right way right now.
Father doesn't like cats, but he never met Kitty.
No, I need this thing. Here. Oh, wrong way. That one.
Kitty
I mean, there's
said
probably a
Grandpa
quicker
Wilhelm
way of
locked her
doing
up
this,
in his
but...
room. Isn't that awful?
Actually, let's put there a sec. That one. That one. That one. That one.
Kitty is my best friend.
Great for Kitty. That one, and then that one. Yes, you made all the fire go again.
I can feel the magic fading. Oh, I had forgotten how it feels not to be caged.
Kitty? What's happening?
A wonderful thing, my dear, for both of us.
I said I'd free you. I didn't say I'd let you live.
Betrayal! You will not take the girl. She is mine.
Kitty! You're scaring me! I won't let you inside me! I won't!
Good girl, run.
These things can have unusual powers. Be wary.
Oh, screw you, Margaret. I'll buy you a nice present first.
Savor your every time. Too easy.
There we go, that one. Have we got everything? Yeah, we got everything. Let's go!
It is begun. As you say, it shall be done.
Okay, for some reason it was nudging me. You know, as even if the enemy was still there. Game took a moment.
It is begun.
I guess shades really don't like,
Our skill
Ice.
has won the day.
let's say, Morgan, where's your stick?
You did it! You freed her! Thank you so much!
I'm sorry I
Kid,
ran away,
listen to your
Daddy.
dad.
I was so scared.
It's all right, Butterfly. You're safe now. All the bad creatures are gone. The phrase to activate Shale is Dulan Han. If you still want that bloody thing. I wouldn't if I were you. Now we should go, and
I do.
quickly. Thank you again. We owe you our lives.
Yeah, you do. Your kid more than anybody. So, scooch on up through this trapdoor. See, because we went in through that door over there. Trapdoor is there. Dulan Han.
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. And not even a mage this time. Probably stumbled across the rod by accident, I suppose. Typical.
Hello to you too.
I stood here in this spot and watched the wretched little villagers scurry around me for, oh, I have no idea how long. Many, many years.
And the villagers had no idea they were being watched. Creepy.
Then one wonders that you wouldn't be grateful to the one who allowed you to stretch your legs, Gollum.
Another mage, I see. Charming. I was just beginning to get used to the quiet, too. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
Not all of them.
Some got away, then. How unfortunate.
Do you have a name?
Perhaps. I may have forgotten after all the years of being called Gollum. Gollum, fetch me that chair. Do be a good Gollum and squash that insipid bandit. And let's not forget, Gollum, pick me up. I tire of walking. It does have the control rod, doesn't it? I am awake, so it must.
Something wrong?
I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
Alright, walk over there.
Nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command. I suppose this means the rod is broken.
Shouldn't you be happy about that?
I suppose if I can't be commanded, this means I have free will, yes? It is simply...
I assume so.
What shall I do? I have no memories beyond watching this village for so long. I have no purpose.
Well, I mean, you can come with us.
I find
we,
myself at a bit of a loss. What about
we came here to pick you up anyway.
It must have awoken me for some reason, no? What did it intend to do with me? I see. Wonderful. I suppose I have two options, do I not? Go with it or go
Didn't
elsewhere?
like any of those choices.
I do not even know what lies beyond this village.
What
I
do you want
watched
to
this
do?
village for so long, unable to move or act. My memories of anything before are vague at best. So I have no idea what I want to do. I'm glad to be mobile. Was that not enough?
Well, you're welcome to come with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us? It could be dangerous and large.
You just don't like anyone joining us, do you? Think of it as a portable battering
Good
ram.
point. Better it than me, anyhow.
I will follow it about then. For now. I am called Shale, by the way.
You could have told me that earlier instead of just saying, the whole, oh, I've been called Gollum for so long. You could have just told me your name. Shale, is that supposed to be a joke? Yeah. I understand the
This should be
joke.
interesting.
Let's swap
Vashaden.
then
Yes.
for Shale. Actually, because we're going to head to Ostagar.
Pigeon crap.
So,
Yes.
there we go. We'll bring Sten. And we've got a level up as well. That. So for that we need 22 cunning. Okay. Dexterity, dexterity. So can't get these without dexterity. Awesome job. Let's get that. We don't want flawed. We want awesome. Alistair, let's give you that. Ooh. +2 to all attributes. Yeah, I think I'll give that one to you, buddy. Actually, can I give it to Morgan? Yeah, she needs a bit more strength. There you go. That one, the Helm of Honnleath is going to Morrigan when I get enough. I give that one to another mage, I think. Go. It's got all that. Oh, I can give that though to Shale. Oh, I didn't put Shale on me, did I? Right, off we trot then. Oh, Alistair, what are you disapproving about? I'm gonna go to Bodan, and get a thoughtful gift for everybody.
It shall be done.
So we'll go to our party camp real quick. So, let's see, what am I giving to who? Oh, that's right, Liliana, where are you? Liliana, there you are. Why can you not use it? Oh. Need dexterity. Give you that. Right, now can I give her it? Yes. I'll give you those.
That's a wonderful thought.
So I know you like shoes.
Very nice indeed.
Okay, so as I said in the last video, before this one, I went around everybody, went through all their talk options. Let's see what else we got here. Doesn't he look pretty in his war paint? Pet fluffers. Oh yeah, go boy. Who's the goodest boy? Right, let's see what Alistair's got to say to us. Oh, wait. That's what I gotta do first. But,
you and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. I'm
Right, which is it? That one. Oh wait, I don't need the amethyst, do I? I don't think I do. So I think that's for Alistair. And that one is for Liliana. That's for Morrigan. Pet Rock is for then Shale. That one. So who's the amount of memories? That's Ogren. That would be Logain. That's Fluffers. So Amulet of Memories should be Win. Alright, we're gonna give everybody their special gifts. Because you know, we're gonna say it's an early Christmas present from all. Right, so let's see. Let's do Grey Warden Puppet first.
Is that for me? Really?
Yeah, 50 for that one.
Wow.
Happy Hanukkah.
Interesting.
Alistair Dole.
Why, thank you
Liliana.
so much.
unexpected. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
There you go. Her
indeed.
pet rock is called Herbert. So now, when I speak to them, if you see now, watch all top, it'll say I get some extra bits and pieces for everybody. So it means their stuff is much stronger. Let's wait while that finishes. Doop 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 boop boop. There we go. So save that. Alright, so now let's speak to him. Alistair?
Something on your mind?
Yeah, we're gonna go for Alistair as a romance in this one.
Not unless they were asking me for a favour. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome?
And what if it is? What then?
Oh, nothing much. I just get to grin a bit and look foolish for a while.
Sounds fair. Good boy.
So, all this time we've spent together, you know, the tragedy, the brushes with death, the constant battles with the whole blight looming over us. Will you miss it once it's over?
Yeah, I'm going to choose option 1.
I know it might sound strange, considering we haven't known each other for very long, but I've come to care for you a great deal.
Oh, Alistair, you're going to make me
maybe
blush.
it's because we've gone through so much together. I don't know. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Am I? Fooling myself? Or do you think you might ever
bless him, he's so shy
feel
about
the same way about me?
Oh. Let's see, I think I already
So
do.
I fooled you, did I? Good to
Whoop!
know.
This is like almost as fast as the relationships in The Sims. All I did was give him a good present.
That wasn't too soon, was it?
I don't know. I need more testing to be sure.
I'll have to arrange that then, won't I? Maker's breath, but you're beautiful. I am a lucky man. Now, let's get back to what we were up to before, lest I forget why we're here.
Okie dokie. Let's
Your
speak to you
desire
again.
is my command.
Oh, if only more men would say that to me.
Of course. Others, yes, but not yourself. I need someone who's trained first as a warrior. It's as much about discipline as anything. I guess if I'm going to give up Chantry secrets, I may as well go all the way. Send whoever you want trained to me in camp, and I'll see what I can do.
So, by doing that, that unlocks Templar class, if you will. Then for Sten and Ogren when we get him.
Your desire is my command. Of course.
If you're raised in the Chantry, have you never...
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
You know what I mean.
Have I never seen a basilisk? Ate jellied ham? Have I never licked a lamppost in
Alistair.
winter?
I bet you've licked a lamppost in winter. Now you're making fun of me.
Make fun of you, dear lady? Perish the thought. Well, tell me, have you ever licked a lamppost in winter?
God, how is he managing to make that sound? Why, yes, I've licked a lamppost in winter.
Just the once? And you didn't lose half of your tongue in the process? I'm impressed.
One water was used.
I myself never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
Oh, that's so cute. You're a virgin.
Cute? Well, hearing that from a beautiful woman does make me feel much luckier. I'll say that. Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying.
Yeah, good boy. So glad
Let
you
us
remembered.
be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush. Your desire is my command. Of course.
So what changes?
You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden? You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, you'll see.
Just try that line on me, Betty.
I have other lines for you. Trust me. Oh, it's not that Duncan wants to keep it a secret. It's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare, then laugh themselves to tears.
So it's just a joke?
More like an initiation. They all went through it too. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, well, I don't know what you call it, their group mind. And when we sleep,
like a hive.
It's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you?
I've had some strange dreams.
Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive, I suppose. Everyone ends up
they can get on with it.
Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come.
His time has come.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well, in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live.
Yay?
Give or take.
Oh, nice.
The taint. It's a death sentence. Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than waiting. It's tradition.
That sounds fair.
And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. And there you have it.
I never wondered that.
You know,
I understand.
Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private. He said it wouldn't be long before he'd go to Orzammar himself. I guess he got what he wanted. I just wish it had been something worthy of him.
He took down an ogre by himself, so...
I know. Ending the blight should make this all worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
Your desire is my command. Of course.
What is
I
it like
didn't know
to be
them for
one
very
of
long.
those?
But I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family, since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
No, I'd like to hear them.
There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? It was Gregor... He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table. Sometimes, we were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow, it doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly... Until...
I'm sorry.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me. That must sound really stupid to you.
Not at all.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go.
Oh, we got some more there.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Ooh, we're going to share the juicy gossip. Time for the juicy
I've
gossip!
got this nefarious plan to go around to each of them and secretly tell them all the nasty things you said. That way they'll mutiny and I shall become the group leader.
Nice evil laugh there going. If you want to lead, all you have to do is ask.
What? Lead? Me? No leading. Bad things happen when I lead. We get lost, people die, and the next thing you know, I'm stranded somewhere without any pants. Seriously, though,
oh wait,
I'm
there's an
only
option
curious.
for no pants?
I've had enough time to form my own opinions, and I just want to see if yours are any different.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
What about
Ask away.
Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so
Okay, I
quiet
agree with
for
you there.
someone so big.
I respect him. I do.
The more I talk to him, the more reasonable he does seem. His philosophy is so strange. But it doesn't sound at all as vile as the Chantry describes it.
The Chantry
And
makes
yet,
everything sound bad.
He killed
including
all
sex.
those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
He seems to regret what he did.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I believe that she believes in it.
That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
It was her choice.
Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
Of course she did. Probably
And
right.
you're just going to let her follow us around? A Maleficar and make her knows what else?
Your Templar training
It
is
is not.
showing.
All right, maybe it is a little. You may have a point. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Okay,
Your
okay.
desire is my command. Of course.
Just running through all this stuff now. Right,
Your desire
I know.
is my command. Well,
Let's do this while we
we're
can.
in camp. Now's as good a time as any to
let's
You
do
know,
that
I was
anytime
just
I
thinking
enjoy
the same
company.
thing. Given the circumstances, things could have been so much worse. I'm so grateful that you're you, instead of some other Grey Warden. That sounded better in my head. I just mean to say that I've really come to care about you.
Bless him! He's so flustered.
Now we just need to be rid of that pesky archdemon, and everything will be back to normal, right? Your desire is my command. Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time
Let's
as
go.
any.
So would you like to join me
you?
in my tent?
In your tent?
I mean, if you don't want to.
That's not it at all. Not that I want to seem overeager. I must sound like a fool. You know that I've never done anything like this with anyone. I was quite sheltered after all. I care for you so much. Whenever I think of this, I feel like a bumbling idiot. All hands. I wish I could be better at this. I want it to be right.
Would you rather we
I don't know.
voted?
I'm willing to give it a shot, if you are.
You're willing to give it a shot? Alistair, better words, please. Oh. Yes,
Right.
I'm willing.
I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah, boy.
You know, according to all the sisters at the monastery, I should have been struck by lightning by now.
I mean, you still could. Oh, that's...
Yep. Lightning first, then the end of civilization as we know it. I'm a bad, bad man. You do realize the rest of our little party here is going to talk, right? They do that.
And let's give them something to talk about. There you go. First mark comment and I feed him to Darkspawn.
This is why I love you. So, what now? Where do we go from here?
We have a Darkspawn horn to
You're so
defeat.
practical. You make me proud. All right, I get the hint. We have a lot to do, right? And we should do it. Before we go, I just want to thank you. No one's ever made me feel this way. I wasn't sure it could happen, in fact.
I feel the same way.
Good to know.
Stick with the I feel the same way. It covers all bases. Right, so now we've got the romance with him out the way. So, as per every BioWare game, I had to think for a moment. So that includes the Dragon Age series and the Mass Effect series, at least. For romance options, they usually put two heterosexual fellas in, not fellas, just two heterosexual people in, and two bisexual, and two gay. No, yeah. So either way, Alistair only likes women. You can't romance Sten. Liliana likes men and women. Morrigan only likes men. Ogrun, you can't have a romance with. Zevran, when you find him, he likes men and women. Trying to think. So we've got one straight female, one straight male, and one bisexual female, one bisexual male. So it means you all got a choice, you know? And then you can't romance Shale either. So let's see, let's go speak with Liliana real quick.
Have I ever told you I really like the way you wear your hair?
Really? Okay.
It's very nice.
Stubborn,
and it
I guess.
Suits you. Simple. Not like the elaborate hairstyles we wore in Orlais. They involved flowers, ribbons, jewels. One year, feathers were all the rage, and Lady Elise decided she needed to outdo everyone else, and actually wore live songbirds in her voluminous hair. The chirping was quite charming for a while, but you must realize, terrified little birdies often have loose bowels.
Oh dear.
Yes, you can imagine what she looked like by the end of the evening. But I was trying to say something nice to you, wasn't I? Oh, forgive me. My mind wanders so. It's just that I feel so comfortable talking to you. Like I could say anything and you wouldn't judge me.
Yes, well,
yes,
we are friends.
Very much so. I haven't felt this close to anyone in a long time. I really enjoy your company.
You are a treasured friend.
Thank you. I am honored that you feel that way.
We don't want to get her to give. We don't want her to have the wrong.
Something I
wrong
can
idea.
help with? Yes.
No, she knows stories.
What's on your mind?
And she has a very beautiful song.
My mother was
Yeah,
from
sure.
Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother. Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent.
She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
I'm waiting to get to our stories again.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind?
You're a traveling minstrel.
I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone
I'm trying to
should
get
be
to
able
that
to
beautiful
benefit
song
from
that
them,
she
I think.
sings.
Which one? I have heard a
Danish.
little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in the land of their own.
It didn't
The
last.
elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. But a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves
Well,
of the
they say
Dales,
home is where the heart is.
Dalish. Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker. Alas,
how did she die?
It was the
I know her
frailties
song
of
is
men
somewhere
that
in here,
betrayed
and I can't remember if I gotta wait for a certain
her earthly husband,
story
Mafarath,
part.
a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Mafarath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Mafarath made a pact with the Archon Hessarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter. I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
Okay, so
Something
where
I
is
can
this
help
song?
with?
I want the song! Give me the
Yes?
damn song.
What's on your mind? I miss Val Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent. Yes, I'm sure it is. But every city has a different personality. It is hard to describe. You have to be there. Of course, there are good things and bad things about Honnleath, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Honnleath. Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course. One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, again. You see.
I don't want to talk about shoes and
almost
clothes.
Ridiculously so. But the shoes.
That bores me.
Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
You can get nice shoes in Denham.
Perhaps. Ferelden folk are so much more practical. I don't see them making use of something simply for its looks. When I left Honnleath,
why would you?
The fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Wouldn't that be hard to walk
I
in?
wouldn't want to run in it, or have to enter battle, but for lounging in a lady's sitting room, perfect. The shoes made in Honnleath were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them. They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about
That's
shoes
why we
all
hide
day,
them in shoes,
but
because we
things
don't
to
have
do,
pretty
don't we? Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind? Where did you hear this?
And
did you not think that this could be historical fact and no longer true?
You know it's true. You just don't want to admit it.
Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
Okay, what's the difference?
Many use the two words minstrel and bard interchangeably, but to do so in Honnleath would cause misunderstanding. Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
Okay. What sort of patron?
Nobles, mostly. In Honnleath, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite. And in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other.
See, I wouldn't be able to deal with Honnleath in real life.
To anyone but its players.
I'd get so frustrated. I'd be like, right, kill everybody off who wants to be two-faced, you know?
I have revealed too much, it seems. But it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past. I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here.
You want to think that the Maker tells you to do a lot of stuff.
There's an idea. I've watched you, and I do think you'd find some of my skills quite easy to pick up. Let's just go over there, away from the others, for safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Ah, yes, please.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on... Of course I do. I love stories far too much to...
That one,
Which one?
Shatan, Rasa Maker,
It will come to you soon, I'm sure.
Okay, so we finished speaking with her. Gonna speak with Sten as well.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
You thought I was callow? Thanks, I guess. He doesn't understand sarcasm the like. He's very,
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
It is indeed.
I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell. I heard the stories of Ostagar. Your kith stood their ground when others fled. No one can do more than that. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it. They said they found me with nothing. I did.
Did you believe them?
I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
That's
I
terrible.
know I cannot justify what I have done. My honor is forfeit. That sword was made for my hand
He really does
alone.
regret this.
I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath. If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Okay, so where did you fight them?
Near Lake Calenhad.
God, you're not very practical, are you, Sten? Don't worry, we'll find it, bro.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
Right. So we've got his personal quest. We'll also end up with a personal quest for Alistair and Liliana. Let's go speak with Morrigan, see if she can give us her personal quest now. Right. Sorry, I'm saving because I don't want to go through all this talking again.
I await your command. At
So
times,
life in a wild's very
perhaps,
lonely.
a world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
Sounds nice.
For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the
Who
first
says?
time I crept beyond
I feel
the edge
attacked.
of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
Can't imagine she was
She
pleased.
was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Flemeth was right, no doubt.
Beauty and
She
love
has a
are
certain way of
fleeting
thinking.
and have no
I know which way
meaning.
to play with
Survival
Morgan.
has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
They made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality. I await your command.
I'd like to ask
So,
you something.
full of questions. Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
Fine,
I
I'll
did
leave you
not
be.
ask to be left alone. I simply wondered from whence comes this strange curiosity.
We don't need
What a
to be
stranger
strangers,
does
do
not
we?
know cannot hurt him, but have it your way. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was
valid
simply
question.
Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness. For the most part, Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
They're very daring.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be travelling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have
you're
trouble.
clean, for starters.
There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me
I don't like being
of.
touched either.
When to look into another's eyes, how to eat at a table, how to
always
bargain
look at
without
somebody's
offending.
eyes. Stare
None of
him
these
down.
things
Show
I
him who's
knew.
boss.
I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
I'm glad I worked out
Yes.
this way, at least.
Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Very practical.
I await your command. So, full of questions, are you?
Have you ever
My mother
been
has
hunted by
been
the
hunted
Chantry?
from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact.
Very
The
easy, I'd
Templars would
imagine.
come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more. I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait, a little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom. 'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the
Of
wilds
course.
is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
They got what
Perhaps
they
they
deserved.
did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the circle of magi as apostates, and apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true, still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
Meaning what? We'll fight it. I agree completely.
Oh, I hope you are not simply being agreeable. It would be a refreshing change. Enough of this talk. Let us return
Morgan
to the
obviously
task at
does it
hand.
well. If taught properly.
I await your command. So, full of... I was not
How did you
born
become a shape
such.
changer?
'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy
Why a
kicking
boy?
and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend. So I assume. My mother has walked the wilds far longer than I. Who am I to suggest what things she has done and not done in her past? Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know? Anyone with sufficient will. But the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly,
Took me a long
you
time
must
to
remain
unlock this, my
disappointed.
people.
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Fair enough.
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary. They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
Fair point.
No, 'tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could, but as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
Your mother seems to know a blasted lot.
I am surprised you think so. Still, 'tis a pleasant thing to hear. Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
I think your abilities sound quite useful.
Practical
They're very
opinion.
practical.
Far more so than any man I have spoken to. But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us. I await your command. So, full of questions, are you? Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
Powerful
You mean, is she
Malefica.
truly the Flemeth of legend and story? Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Of course.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her. Many centuries before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard and fled the castle of her husband, the dreadlord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord, who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
Sounds like a fair deal.
It was. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement in the first place. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
She spoke to spirits or demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies. The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps it was due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began. I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all. The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
She seems to have a love-hate relationship with her mom.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds, after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too. The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well. Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless. Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain.
Seems
It
to
matters
be
not.
in
Let us
none
move on.
of the playthroughs our mother is not alive. Why have they killed off our mother? Right, so we have spoken with everybody, probably brought the tears out of the rest of you guys watching, if you've managed to persevere this far. We're going to leave this video here now, and in the next video we're going to return to Ostagar, see if we can't find Kaelin's body, you know, and, you know, bury it up, something. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video at least, or at least the bits where we were doing something other than talking to people. But, yeah, hopefully I see you guys in the next video, which shall begin shortly. So, bye for now.